Kia ora Airsofters, today I'm going to talk about Antifog or the Antifog units, specifically the Clone Novrich Antifog unit and the Exfog unit. The Clone Novrich unit comes in a rather boring looking box, and the Exfog unit comes in something a little bit more professional looking. Price point difference in New Zealand dollars, the knockoff is about 40 New Zealand dollars and the Novrich unit was 110 New Zealand dollars for the starter kit. I paid for both of these with my own money, so there's no sponsor involved in this, but I did source them from two different locations. I got the Clone unit from AliExpress, and I got the Exfog unit from Special Effects here in New Zealand. So for my purposes, I will run the Antifog units actually on my helmet. Currently I've got the Clone of the Novrich unit set up on my helmet. It sits back here in this pouch. I can easily access it when I need to turn it on by the knob. Charging is a bit awkward because it's hard for me to take it in and out. This is part of the reason I'm looking at changing. But I can get a USB cable in here, charge it while it's in the helmet. I have the hose that delivers the air to the goggles routed through my helmet with the connection adapter here at the front. On my mask, I have the adapter just pushed in and it's a magnetic connection. So when the two connect properly, there's a little magnet connection and they lock in like that. So I'll be swapping this out and putting in the Novrich unit and trying that. I've been running this unit for a couple of months now and I've got some initial feedback on it. Well, first off, I can actually say it works. And at $40, it's quite a cheap option. However, there are some cons which I'll get to shortly. The battery life is really good. I get 2 game days out of it without having to recharge, which is probably about 6 hours per game day, if I remember to turn it off when I'm finished. I can't hear the fan. I'll turn it on. So I get really close to it, I can hear it, but it's pretty quiet. I don't hear it when I'm gaming and I don't hear it in my video footage. Even when it's on full noise turbo. So there's a turbo button that you can turn on, but it's essentially the fan turned to max. I like that it has a dial, it's tactile, I can hear it click when it's on and I can adjust it. And I can do that with gloves on while I'm in game, so that's really handy. There are heaps of 3D printer adapters that I could get to try and mount it, even reprinting the front parts. But that is also a con, because there's a reason why I print all this. So let's go into the cons. The biggest con for me, and the main reason I'm changing, is I find that this front nozzle connector is 1, uncomfortable, and 2, really hard to line, especially when you've got your mask on and you all get up and you're trying to get this little thing to click. Yeah, even now there, I can just feel the magnets connecting. So it works, but that's really annoying, and I think part of the time I'm actually running with this, it's disconnected. The fittings out of the box did not work for me, not at all. And what I mean by that is I'll open up and I'll show you that this little plastic connectors here with the magnet on it, which meant to connect and to this part, nice and positively, doesn't hold. So it kept coming off, so it wouldn't stay firmly within my goggles. So I 3D printed, I'm fortunate I got a 3D printer, I 3D printed other parts, super glued it, worked fine. I also found that the way the air vents out, which is straight to the sides, wasn't really good for helmet setup. So I used these right angles to try and connect. And that works too. I cable tie to some of them to hold them in place, but if I don't, then they do pop out reasonably easy. So that's another annoyance. Routing the tubes was easy, but they're quite flimsy and they kinked quite easy, so I had to be really sure not to put pressure on them, and also that's why I went with the right angles so that I could actually get the airflow going through. What comes in the box? Well, apart from the unit, which is currently in here, and the hoses, you get a charging cable with no power brick. You get a little punch, so you can punch holes in your goggles to place them in. You got a selection of Velcro pads, and I've used the, I guess it's the hook, these are the loop. The hook pads already. Everything else that I've added to it, I've 3D printed. So that's the overview of the Novrich Clone Antifog. What I'm going to do is take a bit of a gap between this video and the next part of the video, and I'm going to actually use the Exfog at a few games and see how it goes and see what I can compare.
A very, very long time later.
Right, so it's been a few months, a lot longer than I thought it would take me to get back to this, but it's given me a real good chance to test out the Exfog unit. So let's have a look at my helmet that's set up. A few things that I like about the Exfog, the pros. The hoses are a lot more rigid. They're less prone to collapsing when bending. So I found that they didn't have any kinks. I still put some 3D printed adapters in to get the fit that I wanted. The smaller unit was much easier to fit into this pouch in the back of my helmet, which, I don't know, it's a minor thing, but I quite like the fact that it's smaller. It's easier to get to the USB, still takes a bit of fiddling, but I can still charge it in helmet, I have to take it out. The big thing for me was out of the box, the connectors are great. These things have magnets in them that make them so much easier to connect, one on each side, there's no part in the middle to get in the way. But the great thing meant that when I was grabbing my goggles and putting them on my face, it was much easier to connect them. I just can get my hands up here, find the magnets and then clip them in. It is still a bit tricky, you can't do it with gloves on, well I can't, but once it's in place they seem to stay really well, and it was much easier to do than the Novritsch clone version. But there are some cons, and let me go over those really quickly. The biggest con for me is I can hear the fan noise, not only in my ears, and people around me say they can hear it, but I can hear it on my footage. I'm just going to turn it on. That's the highest setting. Oh, turn that off. That's the lowest setting, so it's still reasonably loud for a fan compared to the other one. While you see me doing this, the button controls suck. There's a little push button on here, you can't get to it when you've got gloves on, and it's hard to tell where you're at because you've got to use your ears to hear. There's no tactile feedback, there's nothing going on. So as I'm cycling through those 3 settings, I sometimes end up turning it off and have to start again. So really quick, what does this mean for me? Which one am I still using and where am I going with? Well, to be honest, I'm still using the Exfog. And the reason I'm using the Exfog is those connectors are really convenient and much easier to do, and the unit works really well. It's smaller. I found with the Novritsch one, it was just the size and the connector was really uncomfortable and I didn't enjoy that at all. I liked it so much that I actually bought 2 of them. So now I've got 2 Exfogs. Why do I have 2 Exfogs? Because my son started playing and he wanted an Exfog too. So for my son, there's a different attachment. I've got a strap that's attached to the back of his goggles, and same thing. There's a magnet connectors. He just clips those on when he wants to wear it and away he goes. A little bit of tweaking to get it to fit him, but other than that, out of the box, I didn't have to do a lot. Everything I needed was in the pack, and it just is easy. The Novritsch one, I had to play around with a lot. It took a lot of time to get it to the point that it was working. It's working now, but if you're just going to buy something and you want it to work out of the box, Exfog's the easiest way to go. Well, that's my comparison of the Exfog and the Novritsch clone anti-fog units. Hopefully it's been helpful in some way. So until next time, thanks for watching. Follow me and my team, the Beeb Magnets, on Facebook and Instagram. Find out more about Taranaki Airsoft Rangers, my home club. I'm proud to be sponsored by Special Effects Retail. And a huge thanks to Unlimited Airsoft in Wellington, exclusive BB supplier to the Beeb Magnets. If you enjoyed my content, please like, subscribe, and get notified.